What are you waiting for? It's time to wake up and start living your dreams. This message is brought to you by Erica Jefferson, your motivator, encourager, and dream catalyst. Visit the website at www.ericajefferson.com. That's ERICA Jefferson.com. Stay tuned for your inspiring message. And remember, don't waste time dreaming your dream, but start living it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm so glad that you're listening to this and taking time out of your day. I truly am blessed by that and thankful. I promised in an earlier message that I would share my testimony, so this is that message where I'm going to share my testimony with you, and I pray that you're encouraged and inspired by it and that it's a blessing to you so that you can go out and bless someone else with your personal testimony or with words of encouragement or anything tangible like that. So where do I begin? I grew up not really going to church. We went off and on, the major holidays. We were definitely there for Easter with our little gloves on and the hat and all those things. But throughout all this time of going to church off and on, I never truly had a relationship with God. Around the age of 14, I remember going to the altar and accepting Christ. But I guess it didn't take the first time because I definitely dealt with a lot after that point in time. I'm going to fast forward to college. And when I arrived at college, I was pretty moral. I didn't think you should drink, you shouldn't smoke, you shouldn't have sex. And I used to call myself Moral Mandy because that's all it was about. It was just being moral. I didn't have the foundation to explain to me why I thought these things. I just did. I just knew that. I knew that was right, but I ended up joining a college ministry through a laundry basket. I saw a laundry basket sitting on a table, and I was like, oh, yeah, I want a free laundry bag. So went over there and got the free laundry bag, and little did I know I was going to be attending Bible study and getting saved through that laundry bag. And so I did, and no sooner than I got saved, I came to college a virgin. I came to college having never drinking alcohol. I came to college never smoking, all that. Not trying to sound like a goody two-shoes, but I'm just keeping it real. I hadn't done any of those things, and within probably about 2 months, all of that changed. It all changed, and this was all while I was a part of this college ministry. It was right after I got saved. All of these things came at me. I lost my virginity. I started drinking, and things definitely changed for me. I always had that desire to please God in my heart. I can't explain why. I mean, ever since I was little, I always just had a desire to read the Bible. I remember when I was probably about 13, I asked one of my aunts if I should throw away all of my secular music because it just did not appeal to me, but I always felt like an outcast in that sense, and I'm a people person, so I did whatever I could to fit in. In fact, when I got to school, college that is, I remember thinking I wasn't going to meet any friends, and that bothered me, so I was going to do whatever it took to make sure that I wasn't alone, and I didn't know what a poor decision that was because I ended up making some really bad choices based off of the people that I decided to hang around. And yeah, so that started my testimony. I accepted Christ my freshman year in college, and at the same time, everything just broke apart in my life. I remember my mom being really sick, and that didn't help because she was definitely one to keep you in line, but when she was sick, I just kept going deeper and deeper into a lifestyle that I had completely not seen myself going into before coming to school. So around my sophomore year, I joined a sorority, and I was trying to overcome my past reputation, I guess you could say, the year before, and joined a sorority thinking, I'm going to be a part of this, and now I can move on in life. I'm going to be successful. I'm doing it for networking and all these other reasons, but as I got deeper into it, I realized how passionate I was about it because I'm one of those people, I'm all or nothing, I guess. And so I definitely put way too much time into this. And at the same time, while being involved in the sorority and doing whatever I wanted to do at the time, I always had this tugging at my heart to go in a different direction. And a couple of times I tried to just distance myself, but I always found myself right back in the mix. Like once there was a step show coming up, and I was like, I'm not stepping. I just felt like God was just calling me in a different direction, and I really had this desire to put on a kind of like a play thing, like a spoken word and dance and all these different things, but it was all surrounded by, witnessing God's gospel. And so I ended up right back in the step show for the same event that I wanted to do this outreach. I ended up doing the step show with the sorority, and so I went back down there, and then pretty soon I just started distancing myself away from God because it was like I wasn't answering the calling, so I didn't want to deal with it at all. I didn't want to be halfway about it. So around some point, I guess maybe my junior year, I hid my Bible and decided, I'm not looking at that anymore. I'm just going to do me. I'm in college. I know what's going on. I don't need God, was basically my mindset at that time. And so I just went on all these different tips and still in school, more heavily involved in my sorority than ever before, and just not on the path that I knew God wanted me to be on because there was such emptiness in my life. And it wasn't until my first senior year that I just had my breaking point. I sat in my room one night and I was crying my little eyes out. I was so hurt and devastated. And, I had just broken up with my boyfriend. I'd been dating him for about 5-10 seconds, so I knew that couldn't be the reason. I'm exaggerating. Maybe it was like 2 weeks or not even a month, but I was just so hurt. Like, it didn't matter who I talked to, friends, family, no one could encourage me to get me out of this zombie-like state that I was in, and I didn't know what to do about it myself. I just knew that I was hurt and I couldn't go on like this, and I figured if this is how life has to be, then I don't want to live, and that's where I was at.